Combat sports fans, it's time for Strong Style, Impact Media's weekly dive into the world of professional wrestling and MMA. I'm your host, Jeremy the Impact York. Welcome to a fun week. Um, Man, since we have last spoken, I have been, been everywhere. I've been everywhere, man. If you want to sing that fun little Johnny Cash song. I was um, given a media pass to AEW Dynamite in Atlanta over at the Gateway Center. That was a lot of fun. Tune in to this Thursday's. I'm going to have Clay in, of course, and we're going to talk about Grand Slam this weekend. I know it's not technically a pay-per-view. It's just a 2-hour block that's taking up the Collision time spot for AEW, but they got 5 big matches. But tune in there. There's a fun story of me at the event, and I actually met a couple of wrestlers, but one in particular who was super awesome, and met him in only the most impact way you ever could. Saw Clay at the show. Actually, we don't know where each other sat. I don't think we were anywhere near each other, but both saw each other there, and we got a lot to talk about with all of that. And this past Friday, that was Wednesday. This past Friday, get a good look at that there. Someone said I should start showing my media passes, not as a way to show off, but to show what credentialed, recognized media look like. Well, you're looking at him. Uh, that's the Invicta 60 event that was down at Center Stage in Atlanta. Knocked that off the bucket list. Uh, Never been a Center Stage up until then. I like it. It's a fun venue. It's a very fun venue. Met Shannon and Rob, who basically run Invicta along with other Rob as well. Um, Man, nothing like an Invicta Fight Night. Nothing like an Invicta Fight Night. It was spectacular getting to meet um, that that Shannon and that Rob, and I appreciate the opportunity to get to come down and help tell this story that Invicta's telling right now with all these young ladies. Man, fantastic. And also, let me get that out of the way. We are scheduled to talk to one of the winning fighters, Joy Pendle. I believe this Saturday is when we have penciled that in. I'm supposed to talk to her this Saturday. That should get posted um, hopefully Saturday evening, hopefully Saturday afternoon, but Saturday evening. I'll be talking to her, well, around evening my time. I believe she's on the West Coast. But we are penciled in to talk to Joy. Hopefully, we're able to do that. And that will be a fun tie in because our previous guest, Krista Timms, Usher, now friend of the show, was scheduled to fight Joy. And when Joy won, the only name that came out of her mouth was Krista. And maybe I'll let Krista know that. And if they want to schedule the fight, they will have to get together and talk about that. Of course, Krista still sidelined a little bit with that knee injury. I think she'll be able to resume activities in the next couple of weeks, which should be a lot of fun. Regardless, we should have Joy on this weekend. It'll be fun to have Killjoy Pendle on. What a great nickname. And what else is we are going to have Josh Fields on, and Josh Fields is, of course, we get to it real quick. There it is. He is with Next Level Championship Wrestling. They have their debut show this weekend. If you're out in the Augusta area, go check that out. I believe that is the 15th is the day they are doing that. So that will be Saturday. Obviously, we will not be able to make it. Would love to, but will not be able to make it for that. But where is it? Where is it? There it is. Yeah, looks like Saturday, February 15th, 6:15 p.m. Next Level Championship Wrestling. That is going to be at 90 Millage Road in Augusta. It's only $10 to go to this. You guys should. Let's see. There it is. Just to give you guys, you're going to see, hey, from WoW, you're going to see Penelope Pink and Sandy Shore. That's fun. I did not know they were in the area. Zach Mosley and Cody Wyndham. I'm watching the card scroll by as we were talking. All-Star Special versus Dark City Violence Connection. It looks like Murder One and Joe Black, by the way. Skrilla is in action against Trevor Eon and the Kenway. I met the Kenway. He's going to be fun. Duncan Mitchell, Seth DeLay, and Rob Killjoy are all in this as well. Chase Emery versus Hakeem Young. Lots of good young talent there. The Northside Heroes, Conceal and Syndicate. Kelly Clark versus Rico Gonzalez. This is a stacked card, guys. And Amy Haven is going to be in the building as well. You can get a family 4-pack for $20. If not, VIP is $20 and $10 for the regular tickets. Now, as I said, Josh Fields, who is the promoter, owner, and operator of Next Level Championship Wrestling, is scheduled to be on tomorrow. We will have him on a special edition tomorrow, and man, it should be a lot of fun. I'll tell you, it should be a lot of fun to have him on. Like I said, I got in touch with him through Skrilla the Great, who is a friend of the show and had been on here, and Skrilla was talking about this card he was going to be on. He told me about it a month ago or so, and I said, really, tell me more about it. And he said, well, it's out this. I was okay. Hands, but man, this is like a cool thing. Who's running it? And he says, oh, Josh is running it. You should meet Josh. We got talking. He's going to be on the show to help promote it. Should be a lot of fun. Can't wait to have him on. So, I think we can say everything out of the way. Everything related to this show, which is a lot. So let's, without further ado, let's talk Invicta. I want to talk Invicta first. Like I said, there is nothing like a fight night. There is nothing like an Invicta fight night. Just, man, some of the best hospitality you could get, whether you're a media member or not. I mean, every person in the crowd felt as special as anybody in the building, and it was a special night. So many just great things going on. I took notes. You guys know that I take notes. I took a bunch of notes, all on it there. Maybe I'll write an article this weekend or something. I need to sit down and do it. Been super busy. I want to do it. I want to get back writing. We got to get the website back up. You guys are asking. So we'll do stuff like that. But let's talk Invicta 60 from center stage. This thing opens up with Amber Medina making her debut, her pro fight debut, against Anna Summers. Well, in this one, there was some grappling, a little bit of ground control, and then Amber Medina ended up kind of semi-side mount on top of Anna Summers, and Anna just started to cover up at one point. Amber's coach, who happens to be her boyfriend, I believe. I saw him throughout the night. He is super. He's awesome. Austin, I believe is his name. He used to fight, former fighter. At some point, he's looking at the ref because he's just seeing these unanswered punches, and then she's just covered up this way. And yeah, they're hitting, but they're starting to hit. He starts counting. And by the time Austin gets to around 18 or 19, by the time he says 20, the referee has waved it off. And he's just like, I was like, yeah, I think that's the right call, because Anna did make some motions as though she was more than just defensive for a second. But by the time he started counting, I think it was pretty much over. But Amber Medina wins her debut. It was very emotional for all of them. Thought it was just spectacular moment for them. Anna will live to fight another day. She didn't take as much damage as most would there. I think she did a good job of avoiding that. She had some good moments herself, just come up a little on the short side for this one. Up next was the matchup that will feature our former guest and our future guest, where Joy Pendle Killjoy Pendle, or Joy Killjoy Pendle. Like great nickname, by the way. Took on Julia Dorney, who actually stepped in for Krista, who was obviously out hurt. That's a legit injury, guys. I have great sources. Krista herself told me, it is what it is, and she'll get better. She'll let it fight another day. Maybe these two fight, maybe they don't. We'll see. But Joy and Julia, man, Julia, I think she's from Germany, or she's called like the German. I forgot her nickname, but Julia was bringing it for a minute for Joy, and it kept going back and forth. Some good timely strikes early on, solid takedown for Dorney. I got to give Joy some credit, and I'm going to say this to her on the show. So if she watches this, then she'll hear it for a second time. She comes out to Joy to the World. That song means a little something personal to me. Maybe you guys can find the parallel there, but it strikes back to childhood. And no, it's not about drinking wine. Before we get into that, I'm honestly not a wine fan. So, Joy to the World, though, that's I believe that's Three Dog Night. That's going to be a fun song to talk about. But she came out to that, so in a way, I'm glad she wasn't going against Krista Timms because I've got to know Krista a little bit, and she's super cool. Joy seems super cool in the times I've chatted with her now, and I really don't want to pick a side in this because they're both great young ladies. So Joy continued to put the pressure on Julia. Some ground game, some good, and it was a weird sequence. I don't remember recalling, or I don't remember or recall ever seeing a person continue to do up kicks from the ground, from her back. She's on her back and she kept kicking up this way because Julia kept just kicking the back of her legs and kept, even her corner was saying, let her up, let her up, let her up, let her up, because she didn't want to go to the ground because Julia was going to end it if it went to the ground. I mean, not Julia. Joy was going to end it if it went to the ground. A lot of J's. So this thing kept going, and I bet it was the better part of 2 to 3 minutes, maybe. I mean, 2 to 3 minutes. It basically ended round. Which round was that? Did I write it? Round one. Just, I mean, it just kept going. Like she'd kick her in the back of back of the leg, and she'd kick up. She'd kick her in the back of the leg. She'd kick up. She'd kick up again. She'd kick up again. She'd kick up again. Back of the leg. Back of the leg. Back of the leg. And it's like, what's going to be the end result of this? And eventually it kept going, and it goes all the way to this one went to decision, I believe. And in my opinion, it was not close at that point. Let's see. I'm going through my notes. This one somewhere. Oh, no. This one didn't go to decision. This one didn't go to decision because, like I said, maybe I let Krista know in real time what her opponent did. Joy found a rear naked choke at 4:46 into the second, and that is when Julia decided to tap, and that was all she wrote. Joy was a big win, and for a night that a lot of them went to decision because they were great back and forth. This was a great back and forth until Joy found the ground and Joy found that rear naked choke, and that was it. Once again, we're going to hopefully talk to her Saturday and talk to her more about her fight and what's upcoming. Up next was Giuliani Pereira versus Hope Holmes. The crowd got behind Hope early. I don't quite know why. And it wasn't that she wasn't doing anything good. And no, this was such a good back and forth battle to start with. But man, the crowd when they picked somebody, boy, they were on it. And there wasn't even a general theme, and I'll get into that later. But man, this kept going back and forth. Where let's see there, oh, yeah, Juliana Pereira. My goodness. She was, I mean, I don't know if I can duplicate the sound that her punches were making when she hit Hope. I mean, it was, and I know that sounds like I'm clapping, but it was these pops. It sounded like Randy Johnson warming up in the bullpen. It was pop in the midst. I mean, you was like, my goodness. And the thing is even though Hopes weren't making the same sound as Giuliani, he was he was rocking Giuliani just as much. And this thing kept going. The left hand hammer from Pereira, though, I mean, she was just when that hammer was, it was almost a hook, and when it was coming across, man, it was landing, and it was just such a tremendous fight, and it went back and forth. Pereira did keep the advantage for a lot of the time. I'd say about 65% of the time, which did lead to her winning the unanimous decision. Great fight though. It was just a great fight. We had three on the undercard and four on the main card. Another one got scratched, and I will talk about that in a minute. But great win for Pereira. She stays undefeated. Hope Holmes now to 2-2, but I wouldn't hang my head too much on that. You brought it. You just have to get the better of you on this one, and you went 3 rounds of more than respectable. It was impressive. So I think Hope's fine. Gets back in the gym, comes right back at it. Liana Perosin versus Shino Van Hoos. This was a fun one. This was the first on the main card. This thing was it a split? No, it wasn't a split. It was Liana Perosin putting on a clinic for a good while. Van Hoos had some good moments. The stand-up sequence where Van Hoos actually had the bigger advantage with grappling and kicks, and then there was more grappling where Liana started to take over a little more than that. And then when the takedown happened late by Liana early in round one, we knew we were in for a good battle. Less strikes, but they lead to grappling where Perosin had some good tags on Van Hoos, about 60-40 Liana with good strikes and set up kicks for both. And then round three, it was a stand-up battle where Perosin just took over and basically won the fight. She won the fight throughout, but she really hammered it home in the third. And Liana had a great strawweight victory there. And she knows not. I mean, these are both veterans. As 8-8 now, or no, 9-7 for Liana, 6-7 for Shino. Man, these two girls can fight. These two ladies can fight. Speaking of two that can fight, because that happened to open the main card, and I was like, you're gonna have to really bring it to beat a fight like that. And then we get Rayla Nascimento versus Victoria Leonardo. And Nascimento early with the damage to Leonardo. In fact, was that the one? I don't know if that was the one with the crazy. I don't know, but she hurt Leonardo, who recovered, and then she got hurt again, and then she tried to recover again, which she ended up doing, I think. Yeah, and Nascimento just kept the pressure on. I had round one at 10-9 Nascimento. I thought it was a lot closer than most think, but it was overall pretty good. Round number two, it was more even with Nascimento's slight advantage. So at that point, I got her up 2 rounds, and then here comes Victoria Leonardo. She's a heart of a lion. She was finding space and she was starting to pour it on. It just was a little too late there. Um, even though uh, even though Nascimento got a pretty good cut, I think it was actually right here on her eye because I saw her victory post from the back, and she had some stitches right there. It was a pretty good one, but it didn't stop her from getting a victory there. Victoria once again can't hang her head in too much defeat because my goodness, she got rocked twice in the first. It would have put most people out, and she found a way to stay in the fight and just kept bringing the pressure. Um, Up next, we got Katharina Leonard versus Shanna Young. That is Shanna, the Shanimal Young. Gotta love nickname. That's a great nickname. Uh, yeah, I'm not. Hmm, apparently, I hadn't really notes on this one. Um, but let's see. Oh, I remember this fight. This one might have been fight of the night. Yeah, this one was the one that was back and forth, and my goodness, did Shanna and Katharina just unload, just absolutely unload. It's so amazing, so great. It could have been fight of the night. I would say there's three that could have been, but in the end, it's Katharina Leonard with the win. She moves to 9-5. Shanna Young is now at 10-8. But if you line these two up again in a couple months, I think you get the same barn burner. Just spectacular. Jackie Cataline and Jamie Edenson was scratched from the show. One of them was part of a slap fighting event a week ago, something close to that, or 2 weeks ago. And unfortunately, they were knocked down twice. I don't think they were knocked out, but they were knocked down twice. And the rules of that say that then there is a mandatory medical suspension, and so that basically disqualified them from being able to show up for this fight. So, I mean, I get it, but I got to side on why did you risk your fight for a slap fight? Yeah, seems like I would have just trained for my regular fight. Just me. I don't know. I'm not an MMA fighter, but weigh in the comments as to what you guys think about that or what you thought of the card. Because then we got to the main event. Olga Rubin brought her 9-4 record into the cage against Myra uh, Cantoria, who has 10-6-1. Man, to start with, Cantoria was taking some good advantage and taking some good shots, and Olga was doing a good job of defending a little, but also fending some of it off. So then the crowd started to get behind Olga. Not sure why that's who they got behind, and it seemed to just fueled Olga to pick up the pace a little more, and it seemed to push Myra to just keep bringing the punishment. And it turned into a really, really special main event. Um, Myra had the better shot. At some point, they were just tangled up a little bit, and so the ref stood them up. Says, if we're not going to get a little more action than that, then I got to stand you up. So he did. There was left strikes in the second that led to the Cantoria takedown and top control. Olga tried to set up a few things like she did in the first, and ultimately it's come down to round number 3, and Olga was dictating the pace, but it was a little too late again, and Myra had a takedown that really slowed the pace of Olga, and that was basically how she ended up controlling the rest of the fight. Ira Contorio with the win, and it's cool. Fight cards they gave out. These are spectacular. Tell you what, if you're an Invicta fan, drop me a line in the comments. Tell me what your favorite fight was, and maybe we'll send you one of these. We got a couple of them. I'll send you this one if you want. Um, what else? Oh, let's get into fighting. More fighting. Oh, and that's what it was. Invicta 61. It's going to be April the 4th. They, I believe, announced the main event today or yesterday. Go to the Invicta FC Instagram or their Invicta FC, I believe.com, and check out all the things they've done there. I don't know if they set the actual location. I think it is going to be in Michigan. That's kind of the prevailing thought was that Michigan is the next one. I appreciate that the last two, 59 and 60, were here at Atlanta. And if Invicta is ever within some range of here, you can expect Impact Media is going to try to find that for sure. That moves us to, let's talk a little UFC 312. Dricus Du Plessis against Sean Strickland. This one did go to the judges. I don't think it was close. You could give 4 or possibly 5 rounds to Dricus. I'd say 4 for sure. He also broke Sean Strickland's nose. He made it about 3 times bigger than it actually is, which is just crazy. But he wins by unanimous decision. He keeps his middleweight title. Sean Strickland will live to fight another day. He'll get his nose fixed. That's one thing. You're a fighter. Most of the time that's going to happen. Where does he go from here? Well, they said the winner is going to get Hamzat Chimaev, right? Hamzat. So that's probably what we're going to get in a couple months. That should be a lot of fun. That was a good fight, but the co-main event stole the entire night. This was supposed to be the crowning moment for Tatiana Suarez, right? We all wrote Zhang Weili off and said Tatiana's going to win this. It's Tatiana's moment. She's overcome all this. And yeah, if this was pro wrestling, then Cody Rhodes here, Tatiana Suarez, wins this, right? And this great comeback story. And yeah, but this is not pro wrestling. It's wrestling. Zhang Weili said, you're going to have to knock me off the mountain. And I refused to get off the mountain. And she put on a absolute clinic to where Suarez, to me, never had much of an advantage. And even when she did, Weili was there to cut her off and say, no, we are fighting my fight, not your fight. So in the women's strawweight division, Zhang Weili may be one of the best of all time. She might be one of the best female fighters of all time anyway. Good luck right now trying to be better than her. It can happen. Tatiana can, I think if she wins another fight, I think she'll be right back in title contention. I think she learned a lot from this fight. It's not that she wasn't ready. It's just Weili came in with a better game plan and she absolutely crushed her. But she'll bounce back, and Zhang Weili continues to be your strawweight champion and continues to be the best of the best. Absolutely. Just absolute clinic. Absolute clinic. To me, knockout of the night. There was a couple in this card, wasn't there? Did I miss? Yeah, it was one early on. Okay. Well, not only knockout, finish of the night, I would say. Talison Teixeira. That's how he says it. Talison Teixeira just hammered Justin Toffel. Just like Wile Cody, piano on the head. Just bang. And it's over. This thing was 35 seconds into the fight. My goodness. Teixeira is just going to be an absolute monster in the heavyweight division. Because Tapa um, is no joke, and he dropped him like a bag of laundry. Unreal, unreal. Confusing part of the night, and maybe you guys once again in the comments down below. I think they're down below. Maybe I don't know. Make sure you're subscribing to the show, but down below, drop us a comment. Jimmy Crute starts his comeback story. He's found religion and found a lot of things that have really turned his life around, which is so great. He was making his comeback fight against Rodolfo Bellato. Um, I know what I saw. I know I know what a lot of other people wrote. I had Jimmy Crute winning 1 and 2. I had Rodolfo winning 3. Um, but I mean, if you make round 3 a 10-8, then I guess this makes sense. So it's just sort of what it was, I guess. I didn't really have round 3 as a 10-8, but I mean, I guess you could see it that way. But if Crute won 1 and number 2, and then you got an 8 in number 3, that's 28 points. And if you have 9, 9, and 10 for Rodolfo, well, that's 28 as well. 2 of the 3 judges had this as a 28-28 draw. One has a 29-28 or a 29-27. I don't remember the exact thing. But this was ruled a majority draw. A draw. I don't think it's that controversial. I see how they got to it, but man, I'm not trying to side with Crute because it's the better story. Because if Rodolfo had the better fight, I would tell you him. But I felt like Crute should have won this. 29-28, 28-27, whatever. I felt. I mean, but I don't know. It's the case of you win 2 rounds and you almost lose the third round. And this is what happened. So good for Jimmy, good for Rodolfo that they got a chance to fight. Neither of them got the win bonus, I don't think, because you didn't win, get the show bonus. But I don't know. It was a little crazy. And then lastly, Jake Matthews gets his unanimous decision win over Francisco Prado. Uh, Jake Matthews was good. He did really well. Was able to contain anything Francisco tried to do, and he just basically pointed him to death, and was able to get the decision win and moves on to the welterweight division. Gabriel Santos with a win. Wang Kong with a good one over Bruno Brazil. Alexander Taporia, that is little brother Taporia. He gets unanimous decision win over Colby Thickness. And the other KO was Quillian Fakil versus Anshul Jubli. I get their names right there. So that leads us to UFC Fight Night this weekend. Jared Cannonier versus Gregory Rodriguez. Rodriguez is a big favorite in the middleweight main event, minus 225 plus 185 for Jared Cannonier. All right, that's pretty fair numbers. You can still get some money on Cannonier. Cannonier can easily pull this off because we've all wrote him off. I'm guilty of it. Wrote him off before, and he's able to pull into this. But I do think Rodriguez has the bigger advantage here, and I would either stay away from this, or I mean, you could still make money in betting at minus 225. It's be careful. Calvin Kattar, the plus 325 dog against Youssef Zalal, who is a minus 450. Wow, that is a kick in the seat to Calvin Kattar to be a plus 325 dog. You can make some money on that. Calvin can definitely win this fight. Youssef is really, really good. If this thing goes the distance, I think Calvin Kattar wins. If it is stopped early, it's because Youssef Zalal has found a way to end this fight, and I think it could be with a brutal strike. I'll go Youssef. I'll go Youssef Zalal on this one. Edmund Shabazian is a minus 380 favorite against Dylan Budka, who is a plus 280. Edmund Shabazian should win this middleweight, hands down. I don't think it'll be a landslide. It won't be like super lopsided, but Edmund's gonna control the whole fight, and I think very much he's gonna get the decision win. Ismail Bonfim is a minus 200 favorite against Nazim Sadikov, who is a plus 170. I like Nazim as the dog in this one. Bonfim is really good. And I don't want to take away from that. When I pick a dog, it's not because the betting favorite is just not good. I don't know. I think Nazim has an insight on this one. I think he's gonna end up pulling this one out. And I'm trying to win you guys some ducats. If you want to follow my advice, great. It's not the be all end all. It is just years and years of watching this and the betting market and just my take on it. If you want to listen to it, great. But don't come at me either if my picks are garbage because you should be able to make your own choices. If you don't know enough about the subject you're betting on, maybe consider not betting on it. Yeah, it is what it is there. Um, yeah, take Nazim in that one. And then Rodolfo Vieira is a minus 250 favorite against Andre Petroski, is a plus 205. I like Andre Petroski. Rodolfo Vieira is a really, really solid fighter, but Andre Petroski, or Petroski, it's Petroski. I don't know. I just got a real good feeling about it. I would bet Andre and his 12-4 record on this one. I think this is all ESPN. The entire card. The almost are the Bonfim brothers fighting? Looks like they are. We'll get into that in a minute. Um, Angela Hill and Ketlin Souza are going to fight. That's going to be fun. That is a pick'em. That is a minus 110 for both fighters. We are going to get Gabriel Bonfim against Chaos Williams. That could steal the card. Julia Avila is going to take on Jacqueline Cavalcanti. Cavalcanti is a big, big favorite. Avila's no slouch, but I'll take Jacqueline in that one. Absolutely for sure. Is this one back in the Apex? It is back in the Apex, exactly where I thought it was. Cool. So now let's get into some wrestling. It's going to be a long show. Sorry, guys. Let's start with NXT. Let's start with NXT where Stephanie Vacker took on JC Jane early on in that one. That's pretty good. Jane is running into the problem that she is being booked on people that are either the next big thing or the current big thing. And she's doing well, but you knew Vacker was going to win this. And she might be the most impressive of all the females on NXT. That's just my opinion. Big Stephanie Vaquera fan, but big fan of a lot of them down there that are really, really doing some special things. Lexus King came out parading with his trophy and was called out by Fandango or Johnny Curtis or JTC. I forgot what he calls himself now. But remember, there is that bridge between NXT and TNA. So you will see people go back and forth, and we will talk about that more there. It seems like tonight, while we record this, is probably Lexus King versus Johnny Curtis, otherwise known as Fandango. And I bet that was really good. Johnny Curtis has always been underrated and not used as good as he could have been. So I'm glad he was able to find a big moment, and he's probably going to get a main event out of this. Also, looks like Ridge Holland and Dax Lorenzo, or just in general, the D'Angelo family against Ridge Holland is the new big feud. I like it a lot. I wouldn't mind if Ridge, there's no place for him in that family, but if Ridge joined up a little bit, it wouldn't be that bad either. But Ridge is trying to build back up. And I think he can take the Ethan Page role if Ethan were to get moved up, which is definitely a possibility. And Stacks is just getting more solid every time he's out. What else was out there that was Petrovic versus Kalani Jordan was pretty good. Having the Jada Parker run in was a little interesting, or her part in it. They've got so much good talent down there that it's hard to book one against the other. And for now, it looks like Petrovic is not on the front lines for now. Kalani seems to get another leg up after dropping a bunch of matches here lately. And then Waller, in theory, A-Town Down Under versus Trick and Oba was interesting. I think this was a way to test Trick and Oba and see where they're at, see how close they are to maybe a call up. Those post WrestleMania call ups are usually the bigger ones. They did release a bunch of people the other day. So, but I like Waller in theory too. And I don't necessarily want them back in NXT, but if they moonlight a little bit here and there, I think it could definitely help them as well. We go from there to let's go to Raw. Let's go to Raw. It starts with Jay and Gunther. We all know more than likely that Jay, Yeet, or wait, I didn't do it right. Yeet, that Jay Uso is going to take on Gunther at WrestleMania. It would be completely stupid for him to take on Cody because, unfortunately, more than likely, whoever takes on Cody is probably not going to win, even though I think it could be CM Punk. And if it is Punk and Cody, I definitely want Punk to make his own WrestleMania moment like that. I definitely think so. But I think Jay versus Gunther will be. I don't think it'll be a main event. Or no, he won the Royal Rumble, so he will main event. He'll be a day one, night one, whatever main event. I believe is what that's going to be, and that's going to be a great match. And I would not be surprised if Jey Uso won that. I wouldn't. It would be a good wrinkle into the Bloodline storyline, and I think they're going to build it up the proper way. I like how they paraded both winners, him and Charlotte, around as I don't know who I'll pick. I don't know who I'll pick. I don't know who I'll pick. We know. It's going to be Charlotte versus Tiffany. It's going to be Jay versus Gunther because those are the best matchups. I'll be honest, Ludwig Kaiser versus Penta was really good, but Penta is really good and Kaiser's coming up. Having the Pete Dunne wrinkle in there is fun. I guess wrinkle is just the word of the day. Remember, I met Penta not long ago. I'll try to find that picture and post it again. He's super, super good, especially in person. If you don't get a chance to see him live, definitely try to do that. But Penta versus Kaiser was a really, really good match. What else was there? The qualifying match between Io Sky and Liv Morgan for the Elimination Chamber. Liv was able to win it with a little bit of outside help. Not even really Raquel, as much as it was some other outside help from Rhea, who inadvertently caused Io to lose that. But I think Liv Morgan in the Elimination Chamber makes better sense than Io Sky. It's not really her cup of tea to be at a match like that. I don't know if it's anybody's really. What else was there that was fun? Sami Zayn versus CM Punk for a qualifying match. Punk gets in. Zayn does not. Seth Rollins was involved. Kevin Owens was involved. If we don't get Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens, I mean, if you want to throw in Seth too, make it a triple threat and have those three who have known each other for probably 15 or 20 years, I would imagine. Those in a triple threat at WrestleMania, I'll take it because they will be all over the place and crush each other and be so great. SmackDown, we had Jay and Cody. Not going to happen. Fatu and Tom will come down as well, and that led to the main event. Which let's go and skip the main event as far as that. It was a good, solid match between four great performers. That was your typical Cody Rhodes tag team match / main event. It's more predictable than a Bret Hart comeback. Is what it is. Sorry, Bret. What else? What else? Bianca Belair qualified for the Money in the Bank over Piper Niven. We knew Piper wasn't going to win. Hopefully Chelsea finds a way to that match. He deserves to be in it. I just get tired of Belair just railroading people. Piper Niven's twice as big as she is, but every single time they face, everybody's when Bianca picks her up and then does her little face buster thing, everybody's like, "Whoa, my gosh, we've never seen that before." Apparently, it's been under a rock because it happens every dang time. I mean, every match is about how strong Bianca is. We get it. We get it. And that's I get wore out by people like that. Like I don't have anything against Bianca, just I'm tired of the same thing every time. That's why I'm tired of Cody Rhodes. You guys know that from the other shows. I'm tired of him being champion. If he wants to drop it even for a month to somebody else and then get it back, great. But him keeping it for this whole year, forget finished story. Can the story end? It's the never ending story. That's what I call it, the never ending story. And it's to me, it's dragging SmackDown down because it's completely bogged down the heavyweight division over there. That's why they've had to swap some people up and do these little talent exchanges because we've seen the same matches now all year long because of the title being held hostage and just it's annoying. Um, Good to see KC Squared is now going to be on SmackDown. Casey Canizaro and Caden Carter. That's going to be fun. I like that tag team a lot. They really bring some excitement, um, especially to the SmackDown. That's a great home for them. Raw was good. SmackDown will be even better. Do it yourself DIY versus Pretty Deadly. Pretty Deadly found a way to get the roll up victory here, which is nice. They've been ran over and trucked by everybody for the last year when they weren't injured. So to get a win over the champs, that means we get DIY versus Pretty Deadly. That'll be a really good match. Pretty Deadly probably won't win, but even if they do, I don't. They could be good guys at this point. They flip them and could be nice. Drew took on Jimmy Uso and LA Knight to qualify into the Money in the Bank. I mean, not Money in the Bank. Elimination Chamber. Drew all the way. I will say it on this show. I will say it on any show I'm on. I will say it when I'm not on shows. You stop me on the side of the sidewalk and ask me about Drew McIntyre, and I will say he is one of my absolute favorites. I don't understand why he is not higher on the card and why he always gets shafted every single time. It's not even part of his gimmick, folks. It just I don't know. It's just every single time it's like he's on the back end of the stick, and it's just crazy. But he's going to be in the elimination chamber. He is going to be a menace. Him and CM Punk are the first to qualify in. Think about that. Two people that have destroyed each other inside of a cage are about to be locked in another one together with four other people. God bless them. Um, Priest and Strowman getting into it. We know Strowman's it's part of. They're just building up next week's qualifying match. Priest will be another one who will be in the chamber. He makes a lot of sense. They're going to put six people that make solid sense to be WrestleMania main event. You're not going to, unfortunately, when Kofi Kingston and RVD and other people were put into this match, they are there for the jumping off of things and all that, even though they could have been main eventers at the time. So this time, I think they're going to load it up with six guys and six girls who you just don't know who might actually win this. Obviously, John Cena is one as well. So there's only three more spots left uh, for Elimination Chamber for the guys. What else was there? Kevin Owens doing another promo from his car. I love it. Absolutely love it. I don't know why more indie wrestlers even don't do promos from random spots. Not your couch, not while you're drinking tea in a recliner. No, but doing it from your car or from a phone booth or a subway, not the restaurant. A MARTA station. Promos from random places that fit what you're trying to do. Yes, bring them. Bring more of them. Charlotte, Stratton, and Nia kind of getting into it was a lot of fun, especially then Alexa was brought down as well. I think Alexa's going to find her way in the Elimination Chamber. I think Nia will as well. What else was there? Alexa versus Candice LeRae was really good. It was a qualifying match, so Alexa is in. So we got Alexa and Liv so far are the ones in. That's shaping up to be a pretty good one. That's shaping up for sure to be really good for that one. And then I told you about the main event that was good because all four of them are really good, but did your typical Cody Rhodes thing. So kind of is what it is there. Let's finish up with some TNA that this talent exchange has shaken up a little bit. I still stand by the statement that Ace Austin stands to gain the most from this because he's going to get all these fresh opportunities, all these fresh moments, and fresh opponents that he is going to have coming out of the NXT roster. I would like to see him on NXT a couple times as well. Ace Austin is the one to watch absolutely for all of this swap over. And he had a big match against Tyson DuPont, who is part of the Wesley trio. And the Rascals came out to help him out later on. But Ace Austin over Tyson DuPont, solid match. Austin, underrated for his strength. He is really buffed up. And like I said, I think he stands to gain the most. He's going to go from being your opening match X Division guy to potentially a high mid card, possibly even main eventer. I think, but if they play this right, they can really turn him into a star, and I hope they do. I hope they do. There's some promoters even in the greater Georgia area that I've spoken to about Ace Austin, and they are big fans as well. I'm not going to reveal who those are. Think hard enough, you could probably figure out which promoters I may or may not have been talking to. But if you saw Ace Austin in Georgia a handful of times this year, you're welcome. You're welcome. Hendry and something kind of get into it, and all it did was take away from Hendry doing all of his songs. But it got Jake something on, so, congratulations. Good for you. But Joe Hendry, somebody floated this theory. I'm going to float it out there too. John Cena versus Joe Hendry for the TNA World title is a match that should happen. Bully Ray said this. That's who said that. Bully Ray said this on his Tapped Out podcast, or not Tapped Out, on his Busted Open podcast. And he also said it on Hawani earlier that that's something that would help the industry, that would boost NXT, that would boost WWE, that would boost TNA all at once. I'm for it. I don't care. Even if Cena wins it, could you imagine Cena as the TNA as a TNA heavyweight champion? There's his last championship there to break the record. That's a world championship, and then he could drop it back to Joe Hendry for all that matters, and then just do fun matches the rest of the year. I mean, Cena and Dolph have wrestled before. They could wrestle over there. There's a lot of good stuff that can happen with this crossover. It doesn't just have to be NXT TNA. Because WWE is involved in this. So I love that idea. Absolutely love it. Because we saw Cora Jade hang out in TNA. She seems to have a thing against Brookside. Brookside and Cora is going to be a fun program. Savannah Evans, that will be in town this Sunday at the Chain 4 Wrestling event that Nodgesism, friend of the show Nodgesism, is throwing. Get on all the social medias and check out when that is, and definitely go check that show out. He is doing spectacular things with that show. And Savannah Evans is going to be against Rose Gold. Don't miss that one. Don't miss that one at all. The Northern Armory and Eric Young tried to take out Macklin, and Josh Alexander come out. Looks like we're going to add one more to that. You're going to have the 3-on-3, and then that will be Josh Alexander's exit. I think he wanted to go out on his own terms, so he's got a few more matches before he rides into the sunset. Like I said, I've never been a big Josh Alexander fan. Big respect for him, though. But it looks like he's about ready to call it a career, and he's actually had a pretty solid career. He definitely has. And then, what do we get into? Leon Slater, who they're finally starting to feature, and they should. He is an upcoming spectacular talent. Leon Slater and Ace Austin. Let's have that sometime soon, too. But he teamed up with the Hardys, who are the tag champions, because I'll be honest, I think it's because Chris Bay is unable to compete. Because if so, him and Ace Austin would be the tag champs, and I don't see a better team on the roster. not right now. But they teamed up against Moose, JDC, which is what Johnny Curtis is calling himself, because it's Johnny Dango Curtis, I believe. And Eddie was out there as well. Alicia and Myers were on the outside of that one. A big melee. Of course, the Hardys ended up with the win after Leon Slater helped them out as well. Good six-man tag, but once again, typical TNA. I'll say that. I enjoy so many great things that they do. They have such an incredible roster. But I think they push the Hardys a little too much. And that's just my opinion. And I don't know. The Hardys are good. They're definitely on the backside of their career. They would not be my tag champions unless you're trying to do some crossover to WWE. Because they said they do want to finish up some stuff in WWE, but WWE don't have anywhere to put them right now. And so TNA is where they're at. And they did it against the system that's supposed to be your dominant faction. And they were for a while. Not so much lately. Mustafa Ali seems like he is going to be pushed as a face now, which would be interesting. He gave a little talk to Tasha Steelz and lifted her spirit to the good hands as well. If he's going to be this kind of rehabilitation guy, like believe in me, believe in yourself, I think Ali could be a star as well. Ali and Ace, that's an own. And then we got Matt Cardona versus Mike Santana. They're boosting Mike Santana. So, of course, Cardona was going to do the JOB here. This is a good match. Mike Santana is not just a tag guy anymore. He has become his own guy, and Cardona could wrestle the cardboard box. And you think the cardboard box was the next Ricky Steamboat because Cardona is just that good. He's good on his own, and he's good to help other people. And like I said, TNA has so many great things going. So does NXT. So does WWE. And it's not just, oh, well, he's on a show about it. So he talks about it. No. I'll tell you when things are crap. I told you that. I've done it throughout the show. But WWE, whether it's Raw or SmackDown, you have TNA, you got NXT, you've got Invicta, you've got BKFC, you have, speaking of, do we have that? It is right there. Look at that producer. Sassy on demand. You guys want to see another one of these cool ones? That there, oh, there it is. There's the BK. There's the BKFC one there. You guys wanted to see that one? That one's super cool. But BKFC, UFC, PFL is going to be firing up. GFL. All those in April, I believe. Man, it's just going to be big month after big month. There has been a little bit of a lull with pro wrestling in the area. Well, with independent wrestling in the area. I can't say with pro wrestling because, my goodness, I went to Raw on a Monday and a week and a half later went to AEW. So, knocking two of those out. It's my goal this year. If you guys want to help me out, give me a heads up. You guys know I'm out of the Atlanta area. So if it's within range, I wanted to go to a Raw, a SmackDown, a Dynamite, a Collision, a TNA Impact, and an NXT. And I have two of them knocked out already in the month of February. So even if we have to travel a little bit, I do have some relatives and stuff sometimes in certain places. So you guys give me a heads up. You think it's going to be a cool show somewhere? You think it's something I can get to? Preferably want to do it before August because August to December is nuts in the Impact media world. So, plus there are some opportunities on the horizon that I cannot talk about yet. So let me know. Or if there's a cool local show. You guys know I go to Deep South. You guys know I go to Mucha Lucha, ATL. Those are going to be firing back up in March as well on back-to-back Sundays, I believe. Back-to-back Sundays. I believe it's the 16th and the 23rd. With Mucha on the 16th, the 23rd being Deep South back at New Realm. Looking forward to that. Look forward to some videos coming about the Deep South videos that have been released. Detective Impact is trying to get to the bottom of this mystery, and maybe you guys can help as well. If you help me solve it, we'll send you some stuff. I really want to send you guys some stuff, so let me know. But I have rambled and hopefully entertained you for the last hour or so. But we have reached the end of the show. We will see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in to another great edition of Strong Style. I'm your host, Jeremy the Impact York. We will see you guys next time around. Deuces, gooses. Go watch wrestling. Go watch fighting.